Hello there candidates, welcome to Educate. Let us do river rejuvenation. What is river rejuvenation? So river rejuvenation, it is just basically when a river regains energy and it starts to erode vertically again. So basically a river is regaining energy. So it means that the river has got more energy now. So when you say that a river has got more energy, you see the river will be violent, it will be moving fast. So when you say that the river is regaining energy, it just means that this river is now having a high velocity, or it is now moving faster. So you can say high velocity, or you can say that the river is now moving faster, or the river has got a larger volume of water, more volume of water. So basically, when we say that the river regains energy and starts to erode vertically again, it just means that the river either has got high energy, it has got high velocity, it is faster, it is moving faster, or it has got a lot of water. Remember, when a river has got a lot of water and a high speed, it is able to erode vertically or downwards. So with that in mind, we can try to look at the factors that causes the river to have that high velocity and that more volume of water. So those are the causes for river capture. The first being the drops in sea level. So basically in a longitudinal profile of a river, you have got the sea here, because remember that we assume that each and every river, it pours out to the sea. So this is the river and it flows directly into the sea. So when you say that there is a drop in the sea level, we literally mean that the sea levels are dropping, because currently you can see that the sea level is somewhere here. That is the top part of the sea. But the sea levels can drop. So when the drop in sea level occurs, it actually pressures this water to move faster. Remember now that the sea is empty, it requires more water to flow into it. So basically, this will cause this river to be rejuvenated and flow even faster. It is because the sea has got less water and now it requires more water from the river. That causes the river to have a higher velocity. So the drops in sea level, you're going to say that they cause the river to have a higher velocity, thereby it actually causes the river to be rejuvenated. We also have got another thing, and it's known as the increase in the average rainfall. So basically, when it rains a lot, remember that the river gains a more volume of water. Remember, when you say that the river is rejuvenating, it is gaining energy, it's either it is a higher speed or it has got more volume of water. So the increase in the average rainfall, when it rains a lot, especially in summer, you know that there's a lot of rain. So that rainfall actually increases the volume of water. So when you explain how the increase in average rainfall causes river rejuvenation, you say that increase in average rainfall results in more volume of water in the river. Therefore, the river is rejuvenated. We also have got another factor, which is river capture. We've already discussed on river capture. I've put the link in the comments. So basically, river capture, remember that it is when we've got a capture stream and it is actually stealing the waters of the captured stream. So I'll just try to erase here so that it's not clumsy anymore. So basically what's happening here, we have a capture stream and we have a captured stream. So the capture stream is A in this case, and then the captured stream is stream B. So you can see that stream A, it is eroding through the watershed and then it captures stream B. More on that video which I released on river capture. So basically, one of the characteristics of the capture stream, which is stream A, is that it gains more volume of water because it has stolen the water from the river B, the captured stream. So basically, the river capture results in more volume of water. So basically, river capture will result in more volume of water at the capture stream, and then that more volume of water at the capture stream will result in river rejuvenation, because remember we've said that what causes a river to be rejuvenated is a high velocity or high speed, as well as an increase in the volume of water. So river capture increases the volume of water at the capture stream. The other factor that causes a river capture is isostatic uplift. When you say that we've got isostatic uplift, for example, in this image here, It just means that the levels of the land are actually being uplifted. You have learned this maybe somewhere in grade 10, where you have learned of folding and faulting on how land is uplifted. So basically here, you have got a river before rejuvenation and a river after rejuvenation. This is a typical diagram that they would use in your exams. So make sure that you study it carefully and you understand each and every aspect of it. So in the first image here, before rejuvenation, you have got a meandering river. You can see that the river has got meanders. It is bending and winding continuously. So when we say that there's been an isostatic uplift, it means that the land is uplifted. This is usually due to deposition. So basically, you can see that this is the base level. This is where the sea is. That's the level of the sea. And then in the second image, you can see that the land level is a bit up here. You can see it's a bit higher. So the land is being uplifted. That is known as isostatic uplift. So when the land is being uplifted, that actually causes the river to have a high velocity. And when the river has got a high velocity, of course, it will be rejuvenated. And then lastly is the decrease in the load of the stream. So basically, when the stream is not carrying more eroded materials, the stream is free to move faster. Because remember that the water is able to carry eroded materials in it when it is moving. So if there is less load or less eroded materials in the river it is free to move faster because there are no materials to obstruct them. So basically, the decrease in the load of the stream can also be the cause of river rejuvenation. So from these 5, at least study all of them, but remember these ones the most: the drops in sea level. You must remember river capture as well as isostatic uplift. These 3 you must know, but study all of them in case they ask one of them. Now, since we have said that river rejuvenation causes the river to erode vertically, remember, eroding vertically, it is eroding downwards. So we're going to look at the landforms or any landforms that are formed when the river rejuvenates. So we're going to look at river terraces as well as a valley in valley. These two are actually different landforms. Whenever they say, tell us about the landforms that are formed when a river rejuvenates, you say we've got river terraces as well as a valley in a valley. So river terraces are basically steps. You can just say that they are steps that extends along the side of the valley. So when you've got a river like this is a rejuvenated river. This black stream is the rejuvenated river. You can see that the valley of the river has got steps at the sides. These steps, they look like steps. You can see they look like you are in a staircase or something. These steps are known as terraces. They are known as terraces. So they can say it is stepped sides. So they can say stepped sides of a valley. This implies the same thing as steps. So this is one of the typical images that they can use. You can see that the river here, it is having steps. It is having stepped sides. This is your river and there are steps and there are steps. So these are known as terraces. So what about the valley in valley? What is a valley in valley? So basically, this is your river valley and your river is flowing in it. Remember, we've said that during river rejuvenation, the river gains more volume of water and it starts eroding vertically. When it erodes vertically, it's eroding downwards, meaning that the water is cutting down deep into the river. So when it cuts down deep into the river, your river will look like something like this. Now it would have been eroded. So here it is. So here, basically, what has happened here, the river was cutting down here at the riverbed. It was eroding vertically. Remember, we've said that here, river rejuvenation occurs when a river regains energy and starts to erode vertically or eroding downwards. I've made a video on vertical erosion so that you understand more. So basically, when the river is eroding vertically, it is digging up, it is digging down here, it is digging down and digging down and digging down, causing this valley here to form inside another valley. So you can see that this is actually another valley inside another valley. So this is known as a valley in valley. So this is a valley in valley. It's because the river has cut down here at the riverbed. It has cut down, causing carving another valley inside. So when they say give a reason or give the reason for the formation of river terraces or valley in valleys, you say that here this is due to vertical erosion, because they can say account for why a river terraces as well as valleys in valleys form. You have to say that this is due to vertical or this is due to downwards erosion. So this is due to vertical or downwards erosion. So be able to identify this in an exam. It just means that here we have got a valley in valley as well as river terraces as the landforms. Another one is the neck points. Basically, a neck point is basically when a river has a sharp change in gradient. So the river has got a sharp change in the gradient along the stream. So when the river is having a smooth profile like this, it doesn't have any neck points. Let's just say this is a longitudinal profile of a river. But when it has got a neck point, it is not smooth. It has a sharp change in gradient. It has something like a sharp change in gradient. So whenever you see a dent like this or a sharp change in gradient, this is known as a neck point. So at the neck point, most of the times, the water flows violently or the water flows faster. So this actually causes waterfalls to form because the river is flowing down like this and there's a steep change in gradient, a very steep change in gradient, a sharp change in gradient. This will cause the water to flow violently, and to flow faster. So when you've got neck points like this, due to a rejuvenated river, we say that this is a waterfall. So basically, a waterfall forms here at the neck point. And then another landform is incised meanders. You don't have to explain too much about them, but basically the meanders are now, you remember that the meanders are basically when the river is bending, something like this, when the river bends. But now when we say that the meanders are incised or they are entrenched, they can say incised or entrenched. It simply means that the meanders, they are now bent a bit more, something like this. So this is the river, it bends even more. So this is known as an incised meander. This was just a normal meander. It's just the river when it was bending normally, that's a meander. But when we say that the river is rejuvenated, it will create entrenched or incised meanders. And then let's just look at these the importances of these landscapes, the rejuvenated landscapes such as the terraces, and how they can help us. So basically, the landforms, they are actually aesthetically pleasing. They look beautiful, of course. So they actually attract tourists. So landforms, they are aesthetically pleasing or they are beautiful for tourist attractions. This can actually be an economic impact. Whenever they say write a paragraph of 8 lines, giving the economic impact of rejuvenated landscapes, you can even mention this one as one of them. And then the terraces, remember the terraces, those stepped sides of a river, that looks like steps like this, and then you have a river, something like this. So the stepped sides of a river or the structural terraces, they can be used for recreational activities. So you can go here and chill with your girlfriend here, and then it'll be a great vacation and stuff like that. So terraces can be used for recreational activities or even attracting tourists as well. And then the old floodplain is also suitable for crop farming. So basically the floodplain, we are talking about this wide area that is formed, this wide area. We're still going to talk about it later on, but basically just know that the wide area that is next to a river, it is known as a floodplain. So this floodplain has got a lot of fertile soil and it is suitable for crop farming. So here you can say that it is suitable for crop farming because it contains fertile soil. And then that will be 2 marks. And then the other thing, the neck points causes waterfalls. Remember, I've already told you that when we've got a sharp change in gradient along the river profile, when we've got a sharp change in gradient, which is a neck point, when the water is flowing down through this neck point, it will flow down violently. So there will be a waterfall. We say it's a waterfall because the water is no longer just flowing, it is falling. That's a waterfall. So the neck point results in waterfalls. And the waterfalls, they can be used to generate hydroelectricity. electricity. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful and you now have got more information on the rejuvenated landscapes. Don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends to stay tuned.